technically the live is feed, but no one's seeing it right now because there is that delay coming in here. So this is what that looks like when there's a comment. So we can throw that up there. That was from me earlier.
Cool.
But yeah, so all right, well, let's get going. Hey, everybody, Mike Verkest, Bruce Hoffman, and a couple of special guests here joining you live on a quick half hour or so FlightBridgeED live. If you missed the second shift live last night, boy, you missed out on something good. You should go back and check out that replay. So we had a comedian on, G. Wade, and we talked about some racial disparities in EMS and in medicine just in general, and really had a great opportunity just to kind of listen to G's story about the things that he's kind of gone through as a person of color living in this day and age. It was a very interesting thing to listen to. So Bruce, my man.
What's going on, brother?
How you doing?
I'm doing well, man. We are sitting out on the East Coast. We're in Connecticut. We're rocking the steamy, humid, hot weather, 80 plus degrees, man.
It's gross.
I know it is, man. It's like you get out of the shower and like you got to take another shower. You know what I mean?
Man, I thought you only had to deal with that when you went down to Kentucky.
That's what I thought too. Nashville, Tennessee, Kentucky. I'm like, keep the heat down there. No, yeah. I fly back. It's hotter up here than it was down there. I'm like, what is going on in the world?
It's the worst.
It is the worst. The live last night was phenomenal.
Oh, well, thank you.
It was so good. So
yeah, I thought it was really good. And I'll be honest with you. I mean, I don't want to hijack our time here, but, you know, I was super nervous about that live, to be honest with you, because I just took the opportunity to listen, because I've literally, even the stuff that Dr. Zeny was talking about, the experiences that he's had, like, I don't live that, right? We don't live that. And so it was definitely interesting to hear other people's perspectives on not just lately, but just kind of the way things are for them. So
absolutely. Hey, I'm looking at some comments here. I see Ed jumping on. Good to see you. I see Reed is here as well. And Nathan, my man, we said we were going to jump on and chat with Nathan for a minute. Nathan was one of our inaugural mentorship honorees last year, did a great job and is really kind of a demonstration that the sky's the limit, right? Just starting out a program down there and putting on his flight suit and doing some good work down there. So
yeah, it was really awesome.
Great to see you on. And so keep commenting away, and we'll bring you into the conversation. So, Mike, we have two special guests here with us tonight.
We do indeed. And we did a few social media posts over the last couple of weeks to kind of get these guys out in front of everyone and let them know that they are the sort of the 2020 program participants. And we're very excited. So I'll just turn it back over to you and let you start working on those introductions.
Absolutely. So we're first going to start with Matthew Tannozzini. He comes to us from Delaware. Matt's a great guy. We're very excited to have him as part of this program for the 2020 and 2021 year. So welcome, Matt, officially on behalf of the FlightBridgeED team and all of the FlightBridgeED fans that are out there joining us tonight.
Thank you very much. Super excited to be here and be a mentor.
Absolutely. We're looking forward to working with you. And then we also have Torben Dalstra, and Torben is from Colorado, where we were just there. I felt like I was there like the whole month of March. Beautiful weather, beautiful scenery. Can't beat it. So welcome, Torben.
It's good to be here, Bruce and Mike. I really appreciate the opportunity. It's an honor and privilege to have been selected as a mentoree, and I'm just excited to get started and learn from the best of the best.
We will do our best to do that, right? So
luckily we know all those people that you were just talking about. We may not be them, but we know them. So
absolutely. So welcome. You know, on behalf of FlightBridgeED, I think I can speak for the entire leadership team as well as the entire staff. We welcome you with open arms, and we look forward to working with you throughout this next year. We do have a couple things in store for you. You'll be joining us out at Fast 21, which is in Las Vegas. So I got to put that little plug out there right now. So we'll certainly have some more festivities then, just because the Fast 20 conference obviously was canceled because of the pandemic. So we'll catch back up with it in Fast 21, which is going to be epic. So I want to talk a little bit about the mentorship program. This is something that was the brainchild of a few of us at FlightBridgeED, and it was really born out of a need to give back to the community. That's really the genesis of the program. And I want to read the mission statement because I think, anytime you enter into a program like this, it helps to have a baseline. It helps to have a foundation of and from which the program was born. And so I'm going to read it here. FlightBridgeED is committed to providing specialized critical care transition education for our customers that is consistent with our core values, while delivering measurable benefits to our educational community and customers alike. We place a high value on a partnership and discovery while delivering the highest quality critical care education that is evidence-based and consistent with current practice guidelines. That really comes back to the core of what FlightBridgeED is and how this program was developed. So I want to take a moment, Torben and Matt, just to ask you a little bit about your thoughts, on that mission statement and how that might jive with what you saw in that and wanted to be a part of that. So share your thoughts on that. And Matt, we'll start with you first.
When I applied and I first read that mission statement, I'm always trying to find resources and stuff to learn, whether it's podcasts or articles and stuff. So I really applied to get that kind of edge and having someone guide me through, getting certifications, learning new things, advancing my career in the right direction. That's why I really applied to the mentorship program.
Absolutely. And it sounds like a lot of things allowed us to kind of join ourselves together kind of on behalf of that mission statement. Torben, what about you? Kind of talk to us a bit about the mission statement of FlightBridgeED and kind of what you saw in that and what you saw in yourself.
What I was really kind of drawn to was the idea, the partnership in discovery, the partnership in challenging yourself and making yourself better. It's great to have a bunch of resources, but for me, I know I need somebody who's going to challenge me to make me better, hold me accountable. So sometimes I think just with the everyday life, it can be pretty easy to put the books aside. So I was pretty excited to get teamed up with somebody who's going to really challenge me to be better and to make me the best provider I possibly can be. Because at the end of the day, it's all about being the best we can for our patients.
Absolutely. That's awesome. Thanks so much for sharing that, Torben. Guys, I'm gonna turf it back to you again. I think it's important to kind of start with that in sharing that there is common core between not only FlightBridgeED, but the folks that have joined us through this mentorship program. But let's go to the light side a little bit. And I just want you guys to tell us a little bit about where you're from, a little bit about kind of your home life, your family, what's cool, what's going on, and what you guys do for work. So we're going to start again with Matt, and then we'll jump over to Torben. So you got the floor, man.
Cool. Thank you. I'm originally from Millis, Massachusetts. Moved down here, relocated for my wife's work, and I found a location here in Newark, Delaware. I work at Christiana Care Hospital.
Yeah.
In the critical care ground transport team. Prior to that, I worked at shock trauma ICU, and then I worked at Hitchcock Emergency Department. Been in my position here at Christiana Hospital since June 2018. I live with me, my wife, and our beautiful daughter, who's 15 months old. Every day is interesting with the little one, so amazing.
Let me tell you what I know about that, right? My wife and I.
Yeah, I was going to say, Bruce, that's been Bruce's world for quite a while now.
Oh, it's so funny how it goes. So my wife and I have, we're going to have 3. We have 2 little girls right now.
That's awesome.
4 and 2, or almost 4 and 2. And we have a little boy due in July, which is going to totally throw us off. But let me tell you, we are prepared. We are prepared. So I totally hear it. Thanks, Matt, for sharing that. And, you hit a few, we have a lot in common. We both come from the Northeast, right? So,
Yep.
Used to the 4 seasons, but right now it's like, good grief, it's like living in Haiti, right?
It's pretty humid down here.
And then Dartmouth Hitchcock, awesome name. We've done lots of classes up there, have a great relationship with them, and certainly down here in Maryland as well. So it's lots of close connections there. Torben, let's shift the conversation over to you, man. Tell us a little bit about what's going on.
Sure. Well, my name's Torben Dalstra. I'm originally from Washington State, and I work for the Department of Defense, Fort Carson, which is a U.S. Army installation currently. Kind of bounced around in the DoD after medic school, was up in Alaska, Washington, and Colorado. Met my wife. She's currently 3rd year medical student at Anschutz, University of Colorado up in Denver. So we live in Denver. I work in Southeast Colorado. In Washington, I was a critical care ground transport nurse provider. Like I said, went to medical school, then I went to nursing school. And so, like I said, I work fire full time and try to help out my wife the best I possibly can. Most of the time, it's just like doing laundry and cooking. And we don't have any kids yet, but we want to have kids someday. Currently, we have 2 dogs. Being a firefighter, I have to have a Dalmatian. His name is Arson. He's 8 years old, and we have another dog as well. My wife's dog is a red tick coonhound named Scully, and we live in Denver, and we're just trying to get her through med school. And that's a little bit about me.
Awesome. That is so cool. My wife and I had a 180-pound English Mastiff. Her name was Maggie. We called her, she looked like a lion. So I met my wife, as you know, Matt, we've talked, and Torben, down in Maryland, right? Baltimore, Maryland, which nice area, but there can be a couple, risky parts of the city, right? And when my wife would go out, and she was single, and she would take the dog out for a walk, like nothing happened to her, right? And I'm like, definitely no surprise, because the thing honestly looks like a tiger or a lion walking down with like the giant mane, right, thing coming down the sidewalk. So,
when you're walking down the street with a lion, no one touches
Right.
it. You know what I mean?
Nobody messed with it.
You were ahead of your time. I would have been surprised if no one thought you were Joe Exotic as you were walking your tiger down the road. You look a little bit like him, to be honest with you.
Come on.
I can see it.
I think you can pull off
the outfits.
Yeah, I think it'd be great.
I love it. Hey, I want to see. So Brian King is on, right? We know Brian King.
Yeah, there he is.
Brian's out from the East
Brian.
here. We got Dave Olvera checking in from Colorado. Dave, I just want to do a quick shout out to Dave. Dave is our Vice President of Research and Development at FlightBridgeED, and recently just lost his father. So Dave, again, I'd like to share and express on really behalf of the whole FlightBridgeED community our sincere condolences out to you and your family, and our thoughts and prayers as you kind of enter this new phase of life. Dave's a great guy.
Yeah, well said, brother. We love you, Dave.
That's right. Going out to
We wanted to jump on here, but I don't have time to send you the link into Fart. We're going to be gone. So he's trying to jump in on our action.
What the world, man? This is privileged space right here.
Oh, I know.
So, Mike, I wanted to kind of check in a little bit about the mentorship program, and maybe talk a little bit about the role of a mentor, the role of a mentee, and maybe kind of talk through some of how this thing works. And I'd like it, Mike, once we kind of go through this pyramid, which will start the conversation. I know that this is a little bit your shtick. You deal a lot with education and training, and so I think you bring a lot of value to the conversation here. But what Mike put up on the screen here is essentially a pyramid of what a mentorship program should look like. And I think this is important to mention because it really lays the foundation for how we constructed the program. And one thing that I find very interesting is that the foundation of a mentorship program is built on trust. It's the construction of a trusting relationship. And then really compounding that is really through the mentor and the mentee, it's really up to both parties to not only listen and encourage. And if we do that on a reliable schedule and have a little bit of fun, a mentorship program can go a long way in really helping people achieve goals that they have set, and maybe have run into, a little bit of an uphill battle getting there, or maybe they just want to interface with people who have been there, who have, trodden the road, if you will, and, really look to accomplish their dreams, accomplish their goals that they have laid forth. And so I have a little quote to kind of begin the conversation, and it says this. It says, "The mediocre mentor tells, the good mentor explains, the superior mentor demonstrates, and the greatest mentors inspire." And that comes on the behalf of Lucia Traynor, who said that. So I want to turn the conversation back over. Let's get all four of us and let's talk a little bit about that. Kind of the pyramid, the construction of how this program happened, and how you guys kind of see and fit into it. And Mike, why don't we start with you with your thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, I think like any program, no matter what it is, whether it is you're trying to learn how to drive, whether you're learning a new video game, while you're learning to, perform a surgery, the most important thing is having a strong foundation. And in this case, I love the fact that it's built on trust. And I don't think it would behoove anybody for us to blow smoke up anybody's bum here that is in our program and try to fake things and do all that. And so we're going to be as open and as transparent and honest with Matt and Court and Torben here as we get going through here, and really trying to find out what it is that they want. What are they looking for? And I know we were on a conference call the other day, and I heard the term airway from one of you, and I don't remember who it was, but it turns out we know some people that know some airway stuff, right?
We know some peeps.
Yeah, we know some peeps. So do I know some airway stuff? Yeah, of course. Do you guys know airway stuff? Yes, I'm sure I could learn a ton of stuff from you. And that is one of the most beautiful things in a mentorship relationship, if I think you're a good mentor, and that is you learn from your mentees, right? You always take an opportunity to learn. You're not smarter than anybody, right? You should be kind of the last one to speak, the first to listen, and really just find out, what is it that your mentee really wants to do, and what can you do to help them. So I love the fact that it's building on trust. And then if it's me, I go straight to having fun, because that's just kind of how I roll. All right.
No, it's so true. And Mike, what I love about what you said is you really touched on the first three core components in terms of escalating the program, right? It starts with that foundation of trust, and then through active listening and encouragement from each other. It's not really just a one-sided, street. It's really a two-way street. So it could never be, because if it's only one way, what do you have? Like this weird dictatorship thing, and you're like somebody's boss, like a terrible boss at that. And right, I mean, that's just like, I can't even fathom that ever working for anything, right? Yeah,
and
it kind of degrades the whole point of
we've all had a boss like that, or a coworker, and it's sucks.
It kind of degrades and takes away the whole point of having the term mentor, right?
Yeah, for sure. Only 100%.
Yeah, right. So Torben and Matt, tell us a little bit about that. What do you've seen that pyramid? We've exposed you to the pyramid, a little bit about how the program is built and developed. What are your thoughts on it?
I think the pyramid looks like it works. I mean, you always have to have a trusting relationship. I mean, I think we've all had new jobs everywhere, and we've been trained. And if someone doesn't trust you, they're not letting you touch a patient at all.
Yeah.
I mean, definitely. And we've all had bad preceptors and stuff like that, so we know what possibly we don't want to have ourselves get involved with, or what we like to have. So you got to really be humble about it too.
Absolutely. Keywords, right?
Yeah.
Keywords.
So it's so good. And in a lot of ways, it reminds me of like relationship wise with my teenage daughter. Like I know what it's like to be a teenager. I've been there. So I feel like one of my primary jobs is to try to keep her within these lanes, and she's going to bounce back and forth all the time. But if she would just listen, like, for the love of God, if you would just listen to what we tell you, right? We've been there and done that. We know what you're going into, you know, and on her end, if she would be open to receiving that information, her life would be a lot better. And that's the way I look at the mentorship programs. Like, we're going to offer each other a ton of stuff. But between our big group and our network of people that we know all over the world, like, we will connect with the right people that have been there and done that, and can really add value to these guys' career moving forward.
Absolutely. So I'll just capitalize on that. So, you know, Matt, you talked about your interest in airway. You know, when you have somebody like Jim DeCanto as one of your medical directors, and you can literally call him on his cell phone and just and talk to him, you know, one of the creators and originators of Salad and some of these, you know, definitive, you know, kind of airway, you know, kind of manifestations, if you will, that really have global reach. It's fun. You know, that's the having fun part of it. And what do you do when you have somebody like him on the phone, right? There's A, that trust. B, there's a lot of listening, right? There's a lot of listening going on, and there's a lot of, you know, encouragement, you know, from those that are senior. So
you haven't lived on
the call.
I was going to say, you haven't lived until you've done salad training in Jim's hotel room at 2 o'clock in the morning
after a conference.
Like that. That's the best.
Sign me up for that.
He jumped on the call and he introduced himself, and he was like, "Oh, Jim DeCanto." I was like, "Oh,
yeah,
good dude."
Sitting in his presence, I know.
Yeah, super. Cool.
Torben, tell us a little bit about that.
Well, when thinking about that pyramid, you know, like Matt was saying, it's all about trust, but it's also important. Like I said, one of the reasons, like I said, for me to apply for this program is just to be challenged, to you know, have somebody who's going to challenge me to be better, and is going to, you know, listen, but, you know, not necessarily be my friend, I guess, but who's going to really, you know, challenge me to be better, not only for myself, but for others. Mm-hmm. And like I said, the top one is obviously to have fun as well. That's always an important part. So anyway, maybe a combination of both, having some encouragement as well as having some fun, and, you know, having somebody hold me accountable, I think is important.
Absolutely. You know, I got to kind of capitalize on this whole thing with listening. You know, I spend a lot of time, obviously, traveling a fair amount, and it's you go into like an airport like Atlanta, right? Massive airport, and it kind of occurred to me, I'm just like walking through, I'm hearing all the chatter. People, we could almost really use another lesson as a human race in listening. Actively listening to people, not listening to like formulate an immediate response, but listening to what people are saying.
Active listening is huge.
Right.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I'm terrible at that, just so you know. Like, I mean, you know, we just talked about trust, right? Like, I am literally the worst. Ask my wife, ask anyone I hang out with. And a lot of it is because, you know, I don't think I was always like that. I think these things make me react and respond like sooner. And it doesn't give me time to kind of think about like, what are they really asking? What is, like, you just feel like you have to respond. Yeah. Right. And so, not that I'm leaning on that as a crutch, but I certainly don't think that. Well, I mean, I have really bad, like, I'm sure ADHD as it is. And so that certainly doesn't help in it. And it makes me a terrible listener. And I really have to work on that. I mean, I do.
Well, and here's the thing, man, I don't think you're alone. I mean, like, I think a lot of people think that they can listen, but like, so I was just telling my wife, this is like a short aside. And if you know, I'm thinking, when you look at like a news channel, right, and there's a conversation going, or like some of the presidential interviews that have just happened, I kind of was smirking because like that, like, all 7 people, right, will be talking at like the same time, and it's like, who's who's listening, right? Like, how can you understand what other people are saying if everybody's just trying to get their own, their own thoughts out? I had a tremendous mentor when I first started into critical care transport. And she is still a great friend today. And I would literally listen to anything that she said. And I remember she just said, walk into a room and just step back and like, listen and observe. There's so much that you can get from that, right? So much that you can get from that.
No question.
So I love some of the comments that are here, Mike. I see Gordon Elliott, the rewards of mentorship, preceptorships are definitely driven by what you put into it, right? So incredibly true. Thanks so much, Jordan, for that. Sean said in medic school, he had a preceptor that was always referred to him as a student, not by his first name or anything like that. Act like you care. That is also so true.
Yeah.
Absolutely so true.
Yeah.
So I kind of want to end the conversation with this. What are some of the key characteristics of successful mentors? What are some of the key characteristics? And I'll be very frank with you. I don't even think that this is just for mentors. I almost wonder if this is for mentees as well. But one thing here that I'd like to chat a little bit about, it says belief that they are capable of filling the mentor role, that there's a measure of self-efficacy, and that there's realistic expectations about the relationship, the experience, and the impact that they can have on their mentor or mentee. What do you guys think about that?
Well, I mean, I just think that there is a lot of responsibility in being a mentor. Your mentee is looking up to you. They're looking for guidance. They're looking for help. They're looking for whatever they're needing. So there is a lot of responsibility on the mentor's part to foster those relationships and to be available for whatever's needed.
Absolutely.
That's kind of what I think about that anyway.
Yeah, no, that's very good. Matt, what are your thoughts?
Mentors got to be like, it's almost like Mike said, a parent. Like you have to be like strong and drive them, but at the same time you got to be like humble, and at the same time like you got to set limits. It's like a fine line depending on dynamic. It depends on the mentee.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's. Well, there's a loud echo going somewhere. I don't know if it's on my end or what, but I think not everybody obviously is cut out to be a mentor, right? I mean, some people have bad habits and you don't want those passed on, although you need some of that in your life, right? You need to see the good, the bad, the ugly, and sort of develop your own personality, if you will, how you get along in this business based on those things that you've seen. And I think that's an old adage that we've probably all heard from our first ride along, maybe as an EMT, or if you were early on in nursing school, whatever it may be. But you're going to glean stuff from everybody that you encounter. And I think that's a big piece. And I'll tell you that as a mentor, like I don't chase people around, right? Like I'm not going to be
I'm here for you.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm not going to call Matt and Torben 6 times a week and go, "Hey, what's going on? You guys need me for anything?" Like that's not the role, right? We're going to have a conversation about what is it that you want, what is it we can help you with, and we will provide that for you. And we obviously want to keep that going. So it's not like this weird, like don't talk to me. It's not that at all. But like it's exactly what Nathan said. It's 100% true. You'll get what you put into it, right? And that's exactly right. And I know you guys know that, but for people listening, like I just feel like I have to say that, right? It's like it's a big responsibility on both ends.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You talked a little bit, Mike, about something that I want to chat about, and that is one essential component here. And I would even throw out the name Ginger Locke here. I have a tremendous amount of respect for Ginger. And I think this would be something that she could talk on or probably give more profound advice and suggestion than I could. But you really need to have the ability to reflect on your own motivations, your own actions, right? And and the contributions that you've given to the relationship, whether you're the mentee or whether you're the mentor, right? You need the ability to reflect on that. What is it that intrinsically motivates you? What are you looking to do? And how can the FlightBridgeED team, in this case, help you get there? How can we inspire you, and how can we put you on a path to get there? And I think a lot of it kind of starts and ends with the ability to reflect, on yourself. Have a little bit of self-reflection, a little bit of self-awareness as you move forward in the relationship.
Yeah,
this is good.
Yeah, I mean, we could go on for hours.
Seriously,
we're right at about a half hour right now.
Isn't that crazy? We
Pretty
said
good.
Once you get on it, time flies.
I told you it does.
True.
Somebody told me once, time flies when you're having fun, or times are fun when you're having flies. That's what the frog said. You get it? Totally lame, right? That's kind of a dad joke. A little bit.
Are we already at the top of pyramid?
I think we made it.
We're there. We're there. Bruce, I got to give you props on that. I didn't quite understand it, but
it makes sense, right?
It's so good. It's so good.
And so here's the other thing. I brought down, a water bottle, right? Because everybody and all of these other things that I've seen has always been drinking something. A little glass of maybe whiskey, bourbon, whatever your thing is.
Yep.
I brought down a little bit of water, and I'm the only one that's been drinking throughout this entire 30-minute session.
It's not true. I have my Diet Pepsi right here.
Oh, bring it
I
up.
got some water.
Boys, what do you got? Water? Torben, you're searching around.
I got a French vanilla sprayer thing.
Air freshener.
Air freshener.
Torben's on duty. He can't. I mean,
That's right.
Water
All
is
business.
not as good as we get.
All business.
All right, boys. Mike, what do we want to wrap it up with? What do you got for us?
Let's just wrap it up with this. So on behalf of Matt and Torben and Bruce Hoffman, we hope you've enjoyed this last half hour getting to know these guys a little bit, find out a little bit about the mentorship program that we have at FlightBridgeED. Nathan, it was great to see you jump on here as well as one of our very first mentorship programs. I still remember that picture that was sent of him going on his first flight, and that was it seems like forever ago, but it was last year, and it was very awesome. So really, on behalf of these guys, we'll just sign off now. We appreciate you joining us, and we will talk to you soon, and more to come from these guys right here. All right, you guys all have a great night.
See you guys
later. Take care. Have a good night.
Thank you.